Everybody, it's Evan Cooney, your Art Sherpa. Welcome to day 4. Can you believe it's just 4 days of Acrylic April? This is the value study video, and then we're going to do the grid video. On the mic is my husband, John.
Hey, guys.
He is helping me with this whole idea that I would give you guys prep videos so you weren't prepping alone and you would see that I'm doing the steps with you and therefore know that they have value. That seemed like such a good idea 6 months ago, and now I'm like, man, I gotta do all this stuff. But it's cool because it actually is teaching that lesson, which is that the prep matters. If I didn't prep, I don't know I'd be able to teach these paintings at all. All right, let's just jump in to our, it's not homework, it's prep work, isn't it? Prep artwork. Prep it and artwork it. Let's turn it around. Okay. Boom. You're getting kind of good with that, John.
Getting with that? With
the turning around thingy.
Oh.
Because apparently I have some weird phobia about the back of my head that I didn't know about until I was on YouTube. So.
That's where the spiders hide.
That, dude, I'm not okay enough for that. I'm just getting back to myself. Don't. I still love you. Okay. So you'll see here that I have the prep work that's provided to you on the website. You can print those out. You might notice this is on an unusual print paper. This is the Strathmore printer paper for inkjet. It's the textured one, and I'm really liking it. Is it necessary? No. I think you could do this with just a pencil and regular paper. It's just something that I found and I'm really kind of getting into and probably is going to become part of my art practice all the time when I'm doing these because I really like this. All right. I'm starting out with just my black and white. And once again, I'm going to grab my number 4 round because that seems to be able to get some sketch and thought in. And I'm going to begin with a pretty dark color because the background is, if you'll notice, John, it's quite a dark background, isn't it?
It really is.
I think I'm going to stick with that too. I think I've been getting fancy and I need to just get simple again. That is probably one of my biggest problems as an artist is that I can't always just do what's in front of me. I get a little overly creative.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's like, why? Why I got to do that?
So you're just putting down a little base coat of
the black, since I know I'm going to be doing such a that it's such a dark value. Now, when I do the grid, I'm actually thinking I'm going to leave the lemons yellow because yellow is so transparent in paint.
Yeah.
It's going to be my inclination to work around them and preserve that white even on the canvas. Even if I painted where they were white so that the paint stuck well, I would still want to keep it light underneath them so that they stay bright and focal. I'm very excited about painting these lemons. The first time my daughter has ever been into anything I've been painting. Really, she's like, lemons! I love lemons. Well, the cactus. She liked the little cactus, too. She likes cactuses and lemons. I like lemons, too. Lemons are very cheerful. Wow, that's a nice dark. Yes, I'm done. Value study is done. Dark square. That's the value. If they ever feel like that, where they're like, done.
This is from Cinnamon's dark period.
It's abstract. We'll just call it bag of lemons. That would be very funny. Bag of lemons.
Bag of lemons from Cinnamon's dark period.
You got to have a sense of humor in your art when you're on the journey. So I'm going to just sort of lightly sketch in the idea that I've got a little bag shape here. This isn't really a serious rendering for me. I'm just wanting to make sure that I've got some little shape of footing, as you do, right? You get some shapes going. Little shape. I think that like little gray there. I'm noticing like the foreground kind of coming forward is a little bit lighter too. You caught that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think I'm going to pull all this into that gray. So once again, simple values, right? Like not all 10 shades of gray, like 3 or 4 shades of gray. And this isn't about making a beautiful picture. This is really just about going, what are the values and how is that going to translate in my paint? Just all we're ever doing. Get some lighter color here to maybe, say, hey, there's a lemon, which I do like. That'll be very focal. There's another little lemon. I like lemon shapes, and they have those little crazy bits at the end. Makes me sort of happy. I can't be alone in that. Other people probably are happy about that as well. When you think?
Yeah.
I like that this one sort of tucks out of the bag. I got little lemons there. And then they had little lemon friends up here at the front of the bag. Hi, I'm your little lemon friend. A big little lemon friend when you think about it spatially in relationship to the bag. One of the things that I'm noticing doing these free sketches and the gridding is that I've really let my rendering skills get a little lazy.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, wow, that grid says things are in completely different relationships
Oh.
than my brain organically wants to put them in. And so that's always interesting to see. Oh, like, wow, I really needed I needed it.
Well, and that's what they're for, right?
Yeah. They're just to the grid, each step just helps you find a different place in the painting so you're not struggling through every element of it. Because it can get real easy to find yourself struggling through every part of a painting.
And it's not cheating if you haven't developed that particular skill set out yet.
No, not cheating at all. Those skill sets take time. And honestly, in my opinion, have cycles.
What do you mean by that?
Well, it seems to me in art that there's these growth cycles, and then there's like a time when you're almost like latent where you don't see a lot of growth, and then almost something traumatic will happen to you within a painting, and if you persevere, then there's another growth cycle. But there does seem to be a progression where the brain picks up the info and takes it to that next place.
Gotcha.
And the best way I ever find to get there for myself, honestly, is to do the work, to do the studies, to paint often, which luckily YouTube affords me. Right? I mean, like, in some sense, I have to paint every day. There's designs to do. And when you got designs to do, you got to do them every day because some of them are really not going to work out. I have a lot of paintings that I do that do not make the show. I'm like, ooh, that was an interesting idea as a thought exercise and not such a great concept as a painting. I'm making sure that I'm getting my dark shadows where I'm going to be seeing them so I can kind of see where the contrasts are going to need to be. I like that little shadow over the lemon. Bag. This gets kind of darker in shadow back here. And I imagine that's because the bag is blocking some light. So that's pretty nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
It comes in real quick. All right, some mid-gray leaves. What's up with these little leaves? Find out. Dark, but they're lighter than the background. And then a couple coming forward, and I think those will have to be much lighter to really pull out. And then come up here, it's another little... Some of these will show, even though they're quite dark in value, because the green will pull them out from the background. But I don't want to rely on just that to get me through the process. Let me get some of my just white. All right, pop of lemon. Top of this lemon. A little spot right there. Right there. That's sort of also interesting to see the little highlights that are here and there, making up this very interesting composition. I'm hoping that we can really get the bright yellows that are necessary. Another kind of like weird little shadow. May have to put back in a different way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the little shadow of the leaf over it. I don't want to lose that. That'll be fun in the painting. It creates some interesting space. And so I definitely want to keep those more fascinating shadows where they're on the lemons. All right. I think we're getting an idea.
Yeah.
Where a light source is, it's coming from the upper left down. I think we can do a quick color study. And then call that maybe ready.
Yeah.
You could do, the reason you guys get 4 squares is 4 squares a day is because you could fill them all up. You might want to experiment with the color. You might want to try something and then see it isn't working and then try it again. And so that's why I definitely made a point of making sure that you guys have, and put up my cad yellow medium. It's so hard to like not be painting this with real cadmium pigment. The good stuff. But I'm going to work it out with this. John, I am.
I'm here.
Are you here?
I'm here for it.
You're here for it? I think that's good. Be here for it. I actually think we're going to need a little bit of this vermilion. I do. We'll see how that goes, though. So this time, because I want to make sure that the lemons stay light, I think I'm going to actually do some of my initial sketch of this in the yellow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just because I want to make sure that as we do these, I don't lose all that bright value. A lemon there. And then this is the little lemon peeking off. Yellow is very cheerful in all things. It is very, very cheerful in all things. Cool, interesting wrinkle. And I'll definitely get some of this yellow just right on here. It's easy to darken the yellow, in my opinion. Super easy to come in and like deepen up a value. It is darn hard to lighten it over another color. And that's all yellows. Just because they are by nature yellow pigment, super transparent. Just making sure that the color and the thought that we're having about this is going to work out. I think the grid's going to be real simple. Except we'll want to do a similar thing where I'll sketch out the piece in the yellow and then maybe paint the background in after they're sort of like already in, if that makes sense. So my yellow and brown makes this almost raw sienna, almost yellow oxide. I'll put just a smidge of the black into it to gray it. That's what I'm thinking for the sack. Yeah, it's good. So I just went and touched my paint to the image that I have as a reference to see if I'm in the world where I'm thinking I want to be.
You're happy with that, yeah?
Yeah, I thought that was okay. It's okay, man. It's okay. Super okay. Finding the space. So, like, John, actually, you are almost as kidnapped into Acrylic April as anybody else that signed up for it.
Well,
so you've had to make like an acrylic practice almost in your own life, even though you're not painting.
Well, it's a little bit of a different art practice for me.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because you're just capturing what I got going on here?
My production, yeah. I'm doing this sort of production daily practice.
I can see that. I can see that. Always good to just be like, hey, what's this about? You know, sometimes I feel like I'm going to add a little red to this. What does it need? I always like to look at things and like ask myself, what does it need? Does it need more red? Does it need more yellow? Does it need more blue? Just get simpled back to the primaries. Instead of being like, I need dark azine, which we don't have in this palette. You can see I'm just being real loose about this. This isn't about meticulous rendering. It's okay to be a person who meticulously renders things. That's all right. Nobody's like in trouble for doing that.
You're just doing a color study.
Just a real quick sense of color and play, and just like, how is this going to go, and how are these going to go against each other, and what do I want to change? Like, already I feel like this brown isn't quite what I'm looking for. It just feels a little dead to me. Not an exciting brown.
So by doing this, you can kind of go in here and
Get a sense of what I've got to get going.
see how those colors play against each other for real.
Yeah, and play a little bit with some of the values that we might be contending with. Like they've got a little shadow under here. Think about the shadows, and this shadow comes off here, but this overall, this whole side is darker. Got a little leaf there. I like the little leaf shadow across it. Just thinking about like, where is that going to be? If the paint gets all gummy and dry on your brush, then you just gotta rinse it off. So hopefully these extra videos are helping. I wanted to make it so that even if you were really, really new to painting, we weren't leaving you kind of on your own trying to figure out the basic stuff, because that can be really hard to do. But I generally find that if people get support, they can get quite a lot of stuff done. Okay, I painted that lemon. That lemon got weird on me. It did.
Why do you say that?
I lost my little lemony shape.
Oh.
Sometimes your lemons get weird. I don't know what to tell you. Lemons can get weird. It's a thing that can happen.
Now here you're not as worried about that. You're more worried about how the color works, yeah?
Yeah, I'm just trying to see like what's gonna make this work. Like, how are we gonna get this? Like, I'm gonna take a bunch of this back over to the brown, because I just feel like that foreground is not quite. Maybe that. Yeah, that's not so bad. Oh, like kind of cast that yellow up, and then think about how are these colors going to affect each other. Always grab a little bit of the oh, that's nice for the stack. I feel. You can always just come and lighten it up quite a lot. Little crazy bag of lemons. Maybe actually I'll do some of my phthalo blue and my burnt sienna as a starting place for some of the leaves that might be a little bit back there, peeking out. And then I'll lighten it up I like that there were so many little green leaves that happened here. So I got to pull up those values, and I'm going to use the yellow to do that. Yeah, we're pulling up the value a bit.
Yeah.
You know, we've got the green there, but we're gonna play against those two things. And we want to really lean into the fact that phthalo blue, not phthalo blue, phthalo green is quite a bright pigment. So I just want to see how those colors feel in those spaces. I think I'm right about the lemons needing to be on there first. I'm going to take just a little bit of my red. Just a bit. There we go. So that kind of, it's weird how you warm it up and that gets more lemony, isn't it? But there's a lot of warmth to the lemons.
Oh, yeah.
I think I want to capture that. I don't mind that I got a little green on there because I'm getting a basic gist of stuff. You know, I think I'll be working on this one the most in the painting about preserving the brightness of the lemons. And so the green's on there. Don't care. Trying to decide, do I want to use my Naples yellow that's in the set? It's such an interesting, oh, that's kind of fun. You know, underneath the reflection. You can come up here, and that nice. Oh, I like that. So yes, maybe I will. You know, and then I've got the only other color I've got to really think about is, so at the front where it's kind of done, I may want to take a smidge of this black into the yellow and darken it so that I can, yeah, shade the lemon across. Just trying to figure out the shading of the lemon that I'm going to be using. I think that that's going to work out really well. Front of that can go even darker, I think. So playing with it here, seeing where it's still holding. Trying not to lose the brightness that we have. And I feel like, you know, maybe we kept it. So that probably will be the palette maybe for that day. I think the next thing is just to get the canvas ready and figure out the way that we're going to, oh, look at that. It's nice when they have the reflections. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So we kind of got the sense of where we're going with that. I'm going to turn it around. Boom. Oh, that's nice. No, that's okay. Look, that looks really cheerful. So sometimes you just got to, I don't know, what is it? Light the fires and kick the tires? That Top Gun reference?
I don't know.
Yes, artists just like Top Gun. So, woohoo!
Top brush.
You're not alone doing the studies, even if you just have my voice playing while you're doing it. At least you know I did it too. I didn't just as a teacher say, go forth and do this work because it's valuable. That I'm not going to do myself.
We're going to take it to the cadmium zone.
I love you. That's why. Right there. That's why. That's why I said yes. Yeah, that's why. Because he says things like that all the time. Be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. And I want to see you at the easel really soon. Bye-bye.